All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's Strength and Power. I've got a couple interesting stories for you guys today. The Chicago Pro was this weekend. So before we get right into all that, I wanted to apologize for taking a couple-day hiatus from posting videos on this channel. I did post a video on the vlog channel a couple days ago, but I've been in the process of moving. You guys may or may not know that, and it's been taking up a lot of my time. So I just haven't really been able to get in the office and work on videos the past few days, but I'm back today. So the first thing I want to talk about in this video is the Chicago Pro. So the Chicago Pro, opportunity to qualify for the Olympia, big men's open bodybuilding show. They also had classic physique, they had women's divisions, they had 212. So for this video, I want to talk about men's open bodybuilding results and also the results of the 212 division because there was some interesting stuff that happened there as well. So in men's open bodybuilding, we had quite the battle for 1 and 2. And to be honest with you guys, I was actually surprised with the result here. My favorite to win going into this show was Charles Griffin. I saw that Charles Griffin was training for this show maybe a couple months ago, and he was looking insane at like 2 months out. And Charles is actually a relatively newer pro bodybuilder. He's been doing very, very well lately. He's been making major improvements from show to show. His physique just seems to be getting better and better. And for me, he was really one of the standout guys when I saw the competitor list for this show as far as a front runner to possibly win. So he was really my favorite going into this show. But Michael Lockett actually ended up taking out the win here. Michael Lockett actually won this show last year, the 2018 Chicago Pro, and I believe he's been top 2 there on 2 other occasions in 15 and 16. So this is one of the shows that Michael really excels at, and he's done it several times. I believe it's the only pro show he's won, and he's won it twice now, and I do think it was a deserving victory here. So he is now qualified for the 2019 Mr. Olympia. And again, I do think it was a deserving victory, but I think it kind of sucks for Charles Griffin. And I really hope that Charles continues to compete and tries to qualify and win a show to qualify for the Olympia, because I would really like to see how Charles would stack up against some of these guys in the Olympia lineup. Now, also in the top 6 in men's open bodybuilding at the Chicago Pro, you had Essa Obiad coming in 3rd. You had Lucas Osladil coming in 4th. You had An Nguyen coming in 5th. And you had Sergey Kulov coming in 6th place here. So congratulations to Michael Lockett for winning this show. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about the 212 results here because one of the things that I wanted to see in this 212 division was the comeback of Guy Cisternino. And I also wanted to see Zane Watson compete because Zane has always been really friendly to me. He's one of my favorite 212 competitors from a conditioning standpoint. He's got that really grainy, gnarly look to his physique. And, of course, his father just passed away recently. So I wanted to see how he was going to do as well. And then Guy Cisternino, he's been out for a while. This was kind of his comeback show. And neither of these two guys really placed where I expected them to place. Guy Cisternino wound up in 4th place, and Zane Watson wound up in 5th. So even though they both placed top 6, still not quite where I was expecting them to place. So the winner of the show was a bodybuilder by the name of Lloyd Dollar. And I actually think he looked fantastic. I think he certainly deserved that victory. Even though he might be a lesser-known name compared to a guy like Guy Cisternino or Zane Watson, I do think he really did have the superior physique on that day. Coming in 2nd, you had Bola Ojex. Coming in 3rd, you had John Jewett, who I believe is a relatively new IFBB pro as well. I believe he's sponsored by Animal, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, rounding out that top 6 behind Guy Cisternino and Zane Watson, you had Boya Edwards. So that was your top 6 for the 212 at the Chicago Pro. And that was your recap of the 2019 Chicago Pro bodybuilding divisions. So the next story that I wanted to touch on today was actually Jeremy Buendia. So Jeremy Buendia put up a post on Instagram where he's doing a guest posing routine. And during that guest posing, he's hitting quite a few classic physique poses. Now, this guest posing kind of stirred up a lot of speculation that Jeremy Buendia might be switching over to the classic physique division. I believe this is something he's actually hinted at before, but I don't think he's ever directly said it. So he did this guest posing in India. He's running through these classic poses. He runs through some mandatory bodybuilding poses, clearly not doing any type of men's physique routine at all. Obviously, Jeremy Buendia is a multiple-time men's physique Mr. Olympia, so it stood out to a lot of people that he was hitting these bodybuilding poses in a guest posing. And honestly, I've had a lot of people send me this video asking my thoughts on it. Now, do I think Jeremy Buendia could compete in classic physique and make a good classic physique competitor? Absolutely, I do. Because when you think about it, one of the main things that goes into the consideration for what makes a competitor classic, it's going to be the V-taper. And probably the most important point of a V-taper is having a small waist. Now, coincidentally, probably the most important part of being a men's physique competitor is also having a taper and having a very small waist. Now, granted, there is one major element to men's physique that is concealed, that is not concealed in classic physique, and that is the legs. So there's the possibility that guys compete in men's physique don't really have the legs for classic. But I think a lot of the elements of men's physique carry over very, very well to a competitor that's stepping up to the classic division. So do I think classic physique would suit a physique like Jeremy Buendia's? Absolutely. I think Jeremy would have no problem competing in classic physique. And again, we talked about this before when we were talking about Logan Franklin switching to classic physique. When you are an IFBB pro in one division, you don't have to re-earn your pro card in a different division if you want to compete in that division. So if Jeremy has a pro card in men's physique, which he does not have to earn a new pro card in classic physique to compete as a pro in classic, because obviously, even though they're different divisions, you wouldn't want a four-time Mr. Olympia going down to the, NPC show and jumping in classic physique to get a pro card. It'd just be unfair. So do I think Jeremy's physique would look good in classic physique? Absolutely. Can Jeremy Buendia compete in classic physique? Absolutely. I think he's got the physique for it. And of course, he has the ability to, with his pro status in men's physique, also earns him a pro status in classic if he so chooses. I think the real question would be, could he make it to the classic physique Olympia? Which I think could also be a possibility. Now, the next story that I wanted to talk about here was, again, Ronnie Coleman. We made a video a few days ago, maybe it was a week ago now, about the return of Ronnie Coleman because he had posted a recent video on the leg press machine. And of course, this was noteworthy because of the fact that Ronnie Coleman was coming off of, I believe, 12 major back surgeries at this point. His most recent surgery being one of the most serious surgeries. And after that surgery, it was speculated that Ronnie Coleman might not ever be able to walk again. So to see him on a leg press machine really resonated with a lot of people. And a lot of people were upset to see him on the leg press, but a lot of people found it motivating to see that Ronnie Coleman was still able to go to the gym and get back to training, despite the fact that he had these 12 major spinal surgeries, and that doctors said he possibly might not ever walk again, and that we've seen all these images of Ronnie in a wheelchair, Ronnie on crutches. To see him back on the leg press machine, even if it wasn't anything crazy heavy, I think was kind of motivating and exciting to see. But in this most recent video, Ronnie is training upper body. He's training back and biceps and appears to have regained, again, a significant amount of size to his arms and apparently to his upper body in general. Now, Ronnie also goes on to say, he's referencing that last surgery that he had in January. He says he took a 6-month layoff from the gym after that surgery. So Ronnie hasn't trained in 6 months, and this is still what he looks like, which I think is actually pretty impressive. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will have their criticisms and have their negative things to say about the fact that Ronnie's training and how that might hinder his recovery or how that might make things worse. But I, for one, I think it's kind of cool to see Ronnie back in the gym. I'll be completely honest with you guys. Now, the final story that I have for you guys is something that several people have sent to me, which I think is kind of fascinating. Dexter Jackson replying to comments about Phil Heath, saying that Phil is retired. Now, this is something that I've been sent multiple times, multiple different comments where Dexter has referenced Phil and said he's retired. Obviously, Dexter and Phil are both former Mr. Olympia winners. They appear to be friends from what I've seen. There seems to be no bad blood between them. So I guess the main question that's probably on a lot of people's minds when they see these comments from Dexter Jackson is, does Dexter know something that we don't know? Because Phil seems to be hinting at the possibility of making a comeback and making a run for that number 8 title, whether that be in 2019 or whether it be in 2020. It does appear that he's dropped some hints that he will be coming back for that title. But could all those hints and could all that talk be just that, talk and trying to hype up, really nothing? I think it's very likely that that could be the case, and I think the whole thing is really a coin toss whether or not Phil's going to come back. So I wouldn't really make a bet on it one way or another. I would like to see him come back, but I really think it's up in the air. And could he be retired? I think he absolutely could be. Do I want him to be retired? Absolutely not. So that wraps it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy this video. I want to apologize again for the brief layoff that I took. I will be planning on posting every single day for at least the next week. That is my goal, get back to posting every day like I used to. You know, sometimes you just get busy and other things take priority, so I do appreciate your guys' time. I will be trying to upload a lot of vlogs and bonus content on the vlog channel. So if you guys have not subscribed, the channel is called Nick Strength and Vlogs. Right now it has like 36,000 subscribers. I would really like to get it up to 50,000 within the next month or so. I believe it only took me like a month to get up to 36,000 that first month that I had it up and running. So I'm going to put a link to that channel in the description box below. Again, please, if you have not subscribed, go over there and subscribe. It would really help out a lot. Nick Strength and Vlogs. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And as always, Nick Strength and Power signing out.